Good afternoon, good evening. We are back with India and Jayla's podcast, and today we will be discussing developing positive relationships with your parents. So, Jayla and I have been discussing different scenarios of how we have had positive experiences with our parents and grandparents. So, we thought it would be a good discussion to have on this podcast. So, Jayla, how do you feel um, about your parenting that you experienced with me over the
Um,
years?
I don't know. I feel like you definitely did a good job with me, obviously. Some things I was like not understanding of at the moment, but
Mm-hmm.
then like we was talking about, like now it's like, okay, now I understand why you were saying this and why you were doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think definitely did a good job. I feel like every parent, I feel like, because I was your first one, so it's just like you were learning as you were going anyway.
That's a big key for parenting. I think that a lot of people don't take that into perspective. The oldest kids don't take it in perspective when it's going on because actually you're learning together. Especially if we have y'all when we're young, because we're not really uh, educated, or we don't have the experience that I guess older parents may have. So if you're the firstborn, it is a little trial and error, a lot of it. So we may do things that are wrong, and we have to identify that, and hopefully with the next child that will make some fine tuning uh adjustments. So I know for y'all, I don't parent all three of y'all the same because y'all all three different people. Um, so I may be more lenient and understanding with Jasmine because she's the second to go through. She doesn't communicate how you communicate, and so does Nuki. So yeah, I talk to you more probably in light because now you're gone. So more so, you always were the child to call me when you got home from school and tell me all about your day. Uh, so, Jasmine is now doing that. Oh, mommy, but it may be a delay in there if something happens. Nuki is learning to call me as well when he gets home, and he'll tell me when he gets in whether he had a good or horrible day. So, that's very important. But I think it's important to listen to your kids too about their days, because some days in middle school and high school it's really crazy, the things that y'all go through. And
Still,
so when you started out at middle school or even elementary school, when you ran away like the second day,
I
um
did not run away. I did not run away.
you hid.
I hid.
You didn't
I
get
didn't,
on that bus.
I didn't get on the bus.
So maybe those things of that nature, you want to sit down with your kids and talk about how they can be comfortable going to school, and everything that y'all experience, you know,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's going to a predominantly white school, whether it's going to a predominantly black school, there are differences. Diversity is very important, but for us here, our schools are very different to what they cater to. I experienced it when I was growing up with Lake Forest. We were not afforded the same opportunities as the white kids. We couldn't take the same classes as the white kids. So it kind of formed a division in a sense between the two races.
Mm-hmm.
So I hopefully did not put you in those type of situations intentionally. But I understood when you experienced what you experienced too. That's why I always push for you to, you had the um opportunity to get on National Honor Society. Absolutely take advantage of it. I'm still not understanding why you didn't get in high school, but the grades were there, but I don't know what happened. So yeah, I think that set the tone. But when you were in middle school and you were a part of that, a lot of your friends didn't want to. They had the grades, but they didn't want to sign up for it.
Right.
So I totally get it. Totally get it. So with that being said, we've been discussing how can we, um, what should I say, be better with having positive relationships with our parents. How can we communicate better? We have experienced a lot of social media arguing more recently between different people. And I think that happens because people don't communicate well for whatever reason about
It's
their feelings.
it's a communication thing. I mean, with like you're saying, with parenting also, I just honestly feel like for me, I like to like we have an open like communication like, and I feel like that definitely formed like within the last year because it's just like I was I was already like I'm gonna do. It's not like I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway, but I basically had that kind of mindset. So it's just like it's no point in trying to sneak around and do whatever. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna just tell you directly what I'm doing and where I'm going, and that's just gonna be that. Like, and I mean that's it's a whole communication thing. So like communication is very important, even with co-parenting. Like if y'all don't have communication and if y'all can't communicate properly without somebody like feeling some type of way or like it's a whole issue or argument or
More.
something like that, like it's the issue. Like you can't, I feel like I don't know, it's an emotional thing, then it's all different types of things being thrown in where I feel like I don't I mean I'm not no parent, so I don't know. So, but that ain't got nothing to do with me. But looking at my parents and their like whole ordeal, it's just like I don't think it's that hard, but there needs to be communication, open communication, and being able to like be understanding and not take things to heart all the time. And I'm the type of person I don't even argue anyway. So that's just out the door. If you're trying to argue with me, and I was just sitting thinking about it, I'm the type of person, if you argue with me, I'm going to laugh in your face. Like that's just how I am. I really don't care. Like either I'm a laugh or you're getting punched. It's
Yeah.
one of the I'm not doing no arguing.
Yeah.
But that whole arguing back and forth, that's just not for me. So I'm not doing that. Even when y'all get to arguing, that's why I'd be like, I just sit back because that has nothing to do with me.
It
I'm
has
not putting
nothing to
myself
do
through
with it.
nothing. I'll say what I need to say, but at the end of the day, where is arguing really going to get
Mhm.
anything?
I think that it's different for us parents that are co-parenting because we ultimately have to keep the kids first at all times. And I always say I don't want to rehearse anything that we've experienced, meaning that if we move past that, why do we need to go into relationship issues that we've had in the past? And I will say this again, as I said with Ray Ray's with our Just Cuz podcast. When I created or went in with y'all with these podcasts, my intent was not to place any malice image out for anyone. So I feel like that it can help people in the midst of us talking about different topics. So with that being said, when we started talking about this podcast particular, I was just like, I really don't know if we can go that route because it's going to make a lot of people upset. I guess I should have started that at the beginning as a disclaimer. Like, you may not want to watch it because it's going to piss some people off, and you have to be.
You can't get mad at stuff is if you're being honest. Like, and that's just my thing. If you're being honest about a situation, like people only are mad at the fact that they are wrong.
Mhm.
Like that just be my thing. Like I don't, and it's not like I'm picking no side or nothing, or like
I'm
I'm just
sure it's
saying,
being taken
but
that way
you
too.
you cannot be mad at situations that you created.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be mad at situations that you created. Like, it's on you, and it's on you to fix the relationships. It's not on anybody else, because at the end of the day, like, you put yourself in that position with that person.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
but
think
like,
a lot of people run away from taking accountability for themselves. I think that's uh, a problem with a lot of people, and it's very important to take some ownership for your actions at the end of the day, because a relationship involves two people, meaning two parties, and communication comes from two parties. It can't be one-sided. um Spending time with each other can't be one-sided. If I call you, you don't pick up the phone, hey, can I call you back? Or like, communication is so easy at this point with everyone. You can FaceTime, you can text, you can pick up the phone and call, you can see people in person if you really, really, really want to. So, you know, I don't agree with what should I say? I don't agree with the excuses of not putting in the effort, because at the end of the day, it's going to fall on somebody, and it's going to overwhelm that person. And if you've never been overwhelmed with doing work, then you will never understand how a person can be overwhelmed. And sometimes for me, I know when I talk to you, it's like, mommy, I just told Ray yesterday, I was like, Jay has gotten to the point where it's just like, mommy, you're doing too much. I will talk to you tomorrow as my child. And when I get to that point where I'm frustrated and y'all are talking crazy and doing crazy stuff, it's just like, hold on, wait a minute. Like, y'all have lost your minds. And then I go off the deep end because y'all take me off the deep end. Like, y'all bring that person out of me. So then I have to go and, revamp everything. And if I have to say sorry, then I will, or whatever. But it's really important for parents to build positive relationships with their children, because we talked about the other night how relationships are built from generations before, prior to us. So no different than our generations before us on different sides. Like I was talking about with you a couple of days ago, like, the reason why my father is a certain way with parenting and how he communicates and how he loves and all of that is because of his upbringing with his mother and father. And with that being said, my grandfather came from a large loving family, and they didn't have much money. So with that being said, my grandmother came from a family that she was adopted. She didn't know her biological parents. She actually thought that they were killed. And with that being said, she was adopted by another family, her and her siblings. Uh, I believe the boys were separated from them for a period of time, and they basically grew up on their own, I would like to say. So with that being said, it's different dynamics that we come from, the relationships. And if you don't come from a family that what should I say, teaches you about real love and having emotional attachment and hugging and kissing and communicating, then it's going to be a breakdown somewhere. And I think that's where a lot of people are. Like, I think a lot of people are upset because they didn't get afforded opportunities that other people got. So they form some type of jealousy, number one. Number two, they don't really understand when you are coming from large families like that, that if they're not coming from that, they'll never understand the connection that you have. No different than us. We come from a large family that is well connected, meaning that we talk to each other on a normal basis, like every day. And if we don't talk to each other every day, then we know something's wrong. Like you said, my mom didn't call me today. I'm gonna call her tomorrow morning because this is a problem. Like, that's something that y'all have built. Nothing to do with me. That's y'all's own relationship. So yeah, it's very important to talk to your kids. But even with co-parenting, back to co-parenting, Jen, um, you have to put the child or children first in the midst of your stuff. You have to separate your personal stuff from the kids and what they need. And I believe sometimes I know through different experiences for myself and my mother and the people around us that sometimes some people shy away from it because they don't have it in them to give. So, with that being said, some people run away from relationships because they don't know how to sit and experience a good relationship. They're used to turmoil. So all they know is turmoil. And they're going to pass that on to the next person as if it's acceptable, and it's really not. So, you have to make those what should I say, adjustments. Like for me, I was saying yesterday that for me, when it came to me, with dealing with generational curses and trauma through different sides, mom and dad side, I wanted it to stop at me because I did not want to push that on other people that I brought in here because they really didn't ask to be here. So first I wanted to make sure that dad was around for my kids, that y'all didn't experience what I experienced because or other people close to me experience, because it can be heartbreaking when you don't have that biological connection with your parents, and you can get lost in that, lost as a person. So I didn't want that for y'all, and I was kind of resistant so much because I felt like I could take whatever as long as y'all could have that relationship. If I could provide a house or whatever at the time, just so that y'all can see y'all dad, um, with whatever was going on, then I would provide it. If I could take y'all on a vacation where y'all could see each other or be around each other, I would be willing to pay for it with no problem. So I pretty much exhausted those efforts of trying to keep a relationship going. And
Yeah, but that's a whole nother thing because like, and it's no like I don't know. My dad is my dad. Like that's my dad at the end of the day. I like everybody say, some people say I look like Steph, some people say I look just like him. But that's my dad at the end of the day. But at the same time, I just feel like you put so much like effort trying to push that relationship, like not only with y'all two, but with us too. And like you said, you were providing and providing, and it's just like, and like, I mean, he said like he could have been better, but like you said, it's passed down. Like he wanted to be like his dad, so it was like he felt like he had to live up to that, and then it was people like pretty much bashing him or whatever. So it was kind of like
and
he
that's
had
true.
that. And it's like, but at the same time, it's like y'all were young at the same. Like I said, I don't know like how everybody's doing it, how y'all did it. I don't know how I would survive with no kids because I don't.
What you
I'm a
mean?
child myself. Like just saying in general, like me being y'all's age now, I don't know how y'all did it because
Oh, it was a lot of support. Like I said, your grandmother and your aunts on your dad's side kept you a lot at the very beginning. Like that, there was a schedule set up where you stayed with them a portion of the week, and then you came with me a couple of days a week. And me, a young college student, yes, I wanted to party. Yes, I wanted to have fun. Yes, I was working. Your dad was working too, but most of the time, you were with them. You
yeah.
spent a great portion of time with them, uh,
Mhm.
your first years, and then it got to the point where
And
okay.
that was that whole situation too. Like I just, it was just so like kind of crazy because I was the first child. So it's like, okay, I want my parents to be together. Like that was supposed to
Yeah.
be like that was my
Your main mission
thing.
was to just
So I
keep
was
that
like,
together.
so when like fifth grade came and I won for one, I had to switch schools. Why am I switching schools? So it was just like that whole thing, but like it was just, I want to say it was traumatizing to me,
Hmm.
but it was definitely like
A change that you were not expecting.
a definite change. And I mean, switching schools and coming up to Star Hill and going to Postway, then going to Poly and all that, that was like, I guess it all worked out for the
For the
best because I wouldn't have met Jazz and them. Well, no, I would have, but we wouldn't have been as close and
Mhm.
all that. And then like everything that happened wouldn't have happened. But at the same time, like it was just like, wow, but um I don't know. I just feel like because y'all were young and y'all were trying to figure yourselves out, it was just like a lot of maturity that needed still. And I will say that to both of my parents. Y'all both have still a lot of growing on the inside to do.
Mhm.
Um and I mean it like I said, and I told you before I left, like I'm not here, I'm not home
Yes.
anymore to be the middleman.
Mhm.
So if Yuki and Jasmine need something, it can't be on me to like try and be like, oh, I'm gonna call my dad and be like,
Can
hey,
you do this or
can
do
you do
that?
this? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like, I can't do that no more.
Mhm.
And I mean, they're old enough to do it, but
They're not going to. They're
being
not set
really
up that
honest, because of the way that the relationship is between us and our dad, like, and like I said, my dad is my dad. I love my dad
way.
because he is my dad. Like, I won't have another dad. He
Mhm.
can't nobody else say that they're my dad. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's just like I don't I don't know. Like the only
Don't put your hands on the desk, Jack. Just keep it in the background.
but
Yeah.
I don't know. My relationships, like I'm not really a I wasn't like me. I wouldn't even say it depends on the people. Like I'm not really affectionate with people. So it's not like I don't feel like no.
Really?
You have to
Well,
bring
now
out
that
that
you say
side of
that,
me.
that is true. Because sometimes when I try to hug you, like, oh, I will hug
Yeah,
you.
I'm not because we didn't I don't know. Like me and Mom Stephanie and Mom Lucy, like I'll hug them. That's the kind of relationship that we had. But
Mhm.
I'm not really like an affectionate person. Like I said, you really have to like bring it out of me and like all
Yeah.
that. 'Cause I don't like I said, I've never like I don't think I've even kissed more than two people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not very affectionate at all. Like, I don't hug a lot of people.
Yeah.
Um, that's just
That's
not,
our love language, though. Like
yeah.
when we see no different than like us and Nikki and her kids. Like when we see
Mhm.
each other, that's the first thing that we do when we
Yeah.
walk up to each
That's the relationship that we have. But
other.
like with like the men in my life, like I said, the only real like person that I would hug and feel like like I'm like I love this person is Pawab Scott. Like
Yeah.
me and Pawab Josie, like that's my Pawab, but I don't have that kind of relationship with him.
Yeah.
I don't.
Pop
I'm
Williams,
not affectionate. Uh-uh.
he
I'm
was
not affectionate. Even I mean Pawab Jeffrey, like I'll hug him because
oh
like it's
Lord,
like he's a
a
yeah.
emotional creature. Like he'll sit there and cry when he sees you. So
Have a whole breakdown. But yeah, yeah, I'm not really even with my dad, like we've never had that kind of relationship to where like, and I mean, maybe that's why I am the way that I am, because I'm not, I wouldn't say masculine, but I don't have like that, like, I have a soft spot in me. I mean, I do, but like, it's not like I'm real like soft and I'm like,
yes.
you can just come on to me and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm like, what's up? What you need? Like, like, that's just how I am. I'm not easily
Influence
affected,
or
easily
persuasive.
influenced, easily affectionate with people. Like, you gotta grow on me.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I really gotta develop a love for me to be affectionate.
Yeah.
That's like, that's just, I think that has something to do with, like, I wouldn't even say not my dad not being in the picture, but him like kind of fading out of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's what it is. Even with Nuki, like, he, I
What?
feel like I don't think that me or Jasmine, I wouldn't say that we don't need our dad, but it's just like, it's different with between us and Nuki, because he's a boy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he needs his dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a woman can't teach
A
a
man
boy
or a boy to be a man.
how to be a
It can't
man.
happen.
Like,
It cannot happen.
that's not. Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is extremely important, not for just Nuki, but for your other brother as well. Like it's gonna be very important for that relationship to be built.
Even with that, and like I said, it's and I don't want to be that person to where I'm like, I just like and being rude or nothing. But like I said, I don't really like, when I say I only had two siblings, like, that's what I feel like. I don't know this little boy. I don't
hmm,
like, it was not, and like I said, it would be different if it was like, hey, this is my girlfriend. We're having a son. This is going to be your brother. But it was just like that whole situation. And that was a whole nother thing. Like, it's a maturity thing. Like, you can't hide stuff from your kids and then try and pop up and do different stuff. Like, I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't like when people are like beat around the bush. Like, get straight to the point and tell me what it is.
yeah,
Like, and like I said, that whole situation, that was just like,
it, it's pretty unfortunate for that situation. I don't want to touch on that too much,
yeah.
because it again it will create a whole nother argument.
And I don't want to, and like I said, I don't want
Not our
to,
mission, but our
that's,
mission is to make
if
it.
we're being totally honest, like, if you want to, like, I don't want to say like it shouldn't cause an issue, because like, it's the truth. Like, you can't, and we were just saying this, you can't tell anybody else how to feel.
Yes,
Like,
yes. I think the situation was created on chaos.
mhm.
And I know you can remember it coming back from a tournament and getting the phone calls and the text messages, and it's just like out of nowhere. So you like you say, you have to be mature about whatever that you're
And this is
trying.
not a bashing thing
It's
neither, because
it's
like,
so not, but if
I
you
feel
take care of your
nobody's gonna
business on the front end, you won't have to take care of it on the back end.
Mhm.
Like we don't want to have to play catch up to dealing with foolishness,
Mhm.
and we did. So with that being said, I'm a very direct person. I don't really fool with people like that. But if you come to me with foolishness, I'm definitely gonna jump tracks and take it to the next level. So, and everybody should know that about me by now. Like, I'm the most nicest person, will give you the shirt off of my back, will give you anything that you ask for. But when there is a form of disrespect on a different level continuously, um, you're gonna get Molly. You're not getting
And
India.
then it's just, I just, and some, like, when like somebody told me like, you have it like, they was like, you basically have it good. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to tell me like how I have it,
A
like,
perfect
but
life.
it's like,
You don't.
y'all don't even know the half. Like, and I'm the type of person, like, I don't really like express myself enough, because it's just like, I don't want nobody in my business like that. Like, you don't even know my business. But at the same time, like,
This is
y'all
the
don't know.
honest truth.
Y'all
Like
don't.
I said a couple weeks ago, we experienced a lot of traumatic experiences within the last 5 to 6 years that we basically now are healing from. I know for me, I am. I'm going through a healing process. I'm finally taking self-care trips that I should have taken a long time ago. As a person, as a parent, as a um, worker, whatever, however you want to label me, I'm at the point where now I'm just like, okay, I've reached a point where I've done my part as a mom, and my child has gone off to college, and I'm okay with moving how I'm moving, and
Mhm.
with the support of family, I can enjoy myself when I need to, when I need to get a break. So, um, back to let's go back to developing those positive relationships with your parents. Um, communication is the key. You need to definitely communicate well,
Mhm.
um, and consistently.
And these are for parents and kids
Parents
because
and
it's
kids, don't say that. What gets me, it gets me worked up when you say my door is open. No, I have a phone. They can call me. No, it works both ways. Please, people, stop saying that, because like takes me to another level. And if you have a significant other, let me just touch on this for a moment too. Whether it's your boyfriend, husband, girlfriend, wife, they should be promoting you going to pick up your children, having a relationship with your children. Now, why do I believe that? Because it's through experience. When mom got with Big Maurice, he was already, I believe, going to get his kids after, the separation happened with him and mom Sheila. But if he wasn't, he started when um he got with mom. So with that being said, mom and mom Sheila did not have this situation of they were arguing with each other. And if it was
it's
an argument, I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
it's don't.
And still they like sisters. Like,
Girl, yeah.
it's unheard of. But sometimes it does happen like that. Meaning that
But
you
it
want
should be like that.
it should be like that. There's no animosity, meaning you got
That's
my
what I feel like.
sister.
Even with our kids though, like I feel like that too because honestly, I don't I don't do like I just feel like you can't and that's my whole thing right now. If whoever moved on to another person or is talking to another person, like where I'm at, it's like we're cool. Like I don't have no issue with this girl. Like
Mhm.
for one, and it's not even no like trying to be. We're not okay.
Okay, go back to what you were saying.
But yeah, like I said, if this person moved on, like I'm at the point where I don't feel no kind of way. Like, of course, I'm gonna be like, you moved on. Like, you shouldn't. You should be with me. That's really, but I
Not
mean,
if you not if you're over that person, meaning that if you're
yeah.
over that person, I don't care what you do or
But
who
it
you.
shouldn't be no. But it shouldn't be no beef though. Like with another person, even that whole situation. Um, with Maya, like I don't like that. Like you're mad over a dude.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that
Move
be
on.
me. I
You gotta
don't
move on. You gotta press on. It's extremely
gotta move
important.
on.
And like I said, when you get these significant others, if they are promoting you not having a relationship with your kids, that's a whole red flag. Meaning, if they want you all to themselves, or if they feel like, oh, well, I have a kid over here, or I have kids over here, you should be a father to these kids or a mother to these kids. No, you're not even doing it for your own kids. Why would you do it for somebody else's? It makes no sense to me.
And then if you're bringing these, but that's a whole nother thing because you've never like brought nobody around us like
It's very important not to if it's not
that's
progressive.
serious. But I just feel like you can't if you're gonna bring people around your kids,
Mhm.
make sure they're comfortable in that situation or in that space with that person because it's
Absolutely.
just a whole lot of stories and a whole lot of self experiences because I will never get over my dad bringing that girl into the school and gonna snap a picture, ask me to come down to the office, and the girl is standing here. First of all, I don't like you because you was talking about my mom. Like, why are you even in my space? Like, I don't like that. But you can't bring people around your kids if they don't know them. Like, I'm sitting here looking at you, you looking at me. We're not
Never met her
friends.
before, but you
We're
gonna
not.
meet me at the school. Like it's stuff like that that again, uh, it experiences that we have
Like,
had.
I don't know you. Why are you in my face? Why are you trying to take a picture? No. Mm-mm.
Foolishness,
Don't know you.
foolishness. But you have to be in your right mature frame of mind that you're not even going to bring that foolishness to your children, and the person that you're with is not going to entertain that foolishness either.
And not. I feel like if you're with somebody, they should definitely bring out the best in you. Like,
Mhm.
if you have kids, they should be telling you, like, you need to be with your kids. You need to be doing this and that for your kids. And a lot of people don't do that, but I feel
I
like
just
you definitely need to promote that. Like, I'm
absolutely
not gonna
need to
be with
promote it.
nobody that's not taking care of their kids, taking care. If you ain't got your stuff together, like, we're not gonna be together. No.
You can't do anything. I'm gonna need you to
First of all,
have you and your people
I
first.
don't even want nobody that got no kids.
Well, honey, it's going to be hard to find because that's the way of the world right now. And I'm not saying that I don't want anyone with kids at all because I love kids.
Girl, I mean, but you're getting ready to be 40.
Yeah,
I'm getting ready to be 20. Like,
yes. So, with that being said, I want to touch on my conversations with different people about being angry with your parents of your upbringing. And I feel like that, there were times when you didn't understand what I was saying or parenting you, and it totally made you upset. And
listen,
there were times when my mom,
scream matches,
huh,
scream matches. Cause
screamed
I'm
at you,
Cause
ready to
I'm
beat you down,
understand. Like,
ready to beat you down, but you're not understanding like the background behind it and
mm,
the storylines behind it. I did not want for
that
you.
and that. And I will say this to like every like girl out there, like, if you feel like your mom is being hard on you, it's something behind it as to why she's doing what she's doing. Like I said, I did not understand it, but after like these past few months, I'm like, now I understand.
Mhm.
This is why even my mom, Stephanie and mom, she's like, they used to just be like, say different stuff
Stop
like,
hitting the desk. Stop
we're
hitting
gonna be
the desk.
totally transparent here, huh?
Stop hitting the desk.
I'm sorry. They used to be like, okay, so the dude that I used to, I mean, I don't know the whole situation. I don't know. But when we was like talking, like, they would be like, you got a job yet? You got a job yet? Where your car at? Where your car at? Where your car at? And I used to be like, why are y'all on him like that? Like, leave him alone. I used to really like fend for him. Like,
Yeah.
stop doing that. Just stop. Like, you ain't got to do all that. But now I understand because it's like a lot of that stuff stemmed from stuff that they went through with who they were dealing with. So I was like, okay. But I mean, when
But
they get themselves together, like, it's like, okay, cool. Like, but you got to get yourself together. And that's where I'm at. Like, and that's why I'm saying now, I'm like, if you do not have your stuff together, we can't even have no conversation.
mhm.
Like, mm-mm. I'm not settling for nothing no more because it's just when you like really open your eyes, like, wow, okay, I understand.
Mhm.
I totally understand. And even with like, it was just some stuff, I don't know, some stuff you used to be tripping about, like my phone was never a distraction, like, but I mean, it was just different stuff. I mean, some stuff I understand, some stuff I'm still learning, some
Mhm.
stuff you was definitely like really tripping about, but
Yeah.
you was trying to figure it out.
I was trying to figure it out. I was doing the best that I can do at that particular time. And like I always say, I can only give you what I have in me. And with that being said, going through traumatic experiences at different times of your childhood growing up, and going through a huge bad breakup a couple of times, um played a part in who I was. So it's funny now, but it wasn't funny then. Lord knows, I was ready to take a charge, some good charges. But yeah, if it wasn't for you, I always say this: you definitely made me mature in different departments of my life. No, I'm not perfect, and no, I'm nowhere near going to be perfect right now. But am I doing the best that I can do? Yes. Did I make you angry sometimes with how I parented you? Absolutely. But in comparison, you were the one child that always said, well, their parents let them do it. Well, their parents are a little older, and their parents are, basically
And
they
that's a whole nother thing too, because with me and my friends, like our parents had an age gap. Like my friends, their parents are going on 50. They're the same
and
age as my mom. Like, and I'm not trying to bash nobody because one
yeah,
thing about it, Miss Fran looks like she is 25. Like,
mm-hmm.
look real good. Like, don't put Miss Fran, but um there's a huge age gap between my parents and my friends. They also had older siblings, so they were like either the middle child or the youngest, so it was like it was no comparison between me and my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I
so it
think
was a
Amani are the only ones, right?
yeah, me and Monty are the only ones.
Yeah, because
And
me and her mom were the same age,
even,
right?
even Monty's mom, she's like, I don't even think that Monty is just, she's different anyway. So it was just, we're totally, like I said, me and my friends were totally different. But yeah, that definitely, because I was
A
just
big part in our parenting, because you can't compare my parenting to what they doing over in their house, because we're not the same
yeah,
at all. So we went through a different thing of that, because their parents would allow them to do different things, act a certain way. I remember when you started playing basketball on a team, what, like in the fifth grade. And I remember making a post about it, like, man, this little girl really just told her mom off, and I felt she deserved a beating. And her mom just allowed her to just talk to her crazy. And I was just like, oh no, I need Jay to understand, we not doing that over here. I will kill you, and your grandmothers will tear apart your buns too. Like, no.
I never like I said, that's the whole thing with parenting too. Like I never had the lenient, me and my mom, we never were on the same level. Like I understood you are the mother, I am the child. Like it was never
Right.
we didn't have I
Mm-hmm.
ain't yell at my mom or talk crazy to my mom. I may have had an attitude a little bit, but it was never like I was just talking crazy and
Yeah.
cussing out my mom and all of that. Like, ain't never had that.
We don't do that over here. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying we don't do that over here. No way.
No, but that's just how we are. Like,
Mhm.
I don't even like I didn't, and that's I y'all didn't never cuss around me. Even when my mom or my mom try and cuss today, I'll just be like, I will laugh because what are you talking about? Like, you don't even talk like that. Don't even talk like that. So I never grew up around like nobody doing a whole bunch of cussing and all of that. Like, so that was never like in my vocabulary or nothing. Like, even today,
Yeah.
I don't do a whole bunch of cussing
But I
like that.
was a yeller. I will admit I was a yeller for a period of time in the mornings. It was
But
bad. It was
what?
bad.
You are
I
yellow. You
yell
you
and
don't yell. You
again.
don't be yelling at Nuki. You don't be yelling at Nuki.
I just yelled at him like an hour ago because he didn't take the trash out. No,
Exactly.
I said in the mornings. Let's clarify. You're not listening. Listening skills. I said I don't
You're a
yell in
yeller.
the morning. Huh?
You're a yeller, period.
I am. But I'm a quiet person. But again, if you take that out of me, this is what You're getting Molly. You're not getting India. Okay. It's two different people. So yeah, like that was a huge part in middle school and high school, you know. No, you ain't going over there. No, we not doing this, doing that. Because it was something that my mom did not do. Like she
Mhm.
just didn't allow that for me and my sisters. Meaning that, hold on, wait a minute, who's gonna be over there? Is their parents there? Because a lot of things happen now that didn't happen when we were growing up. Meaning that there were a lot of rapes and a lot of different things that shouldn't be happening. You know, you somewhere, you saying you somewhere and you somewhere else. Like I know that happened to
Well,
me.
I did.
Um and yeah, my mom came and picked me up. Stephanie was not playing. I think I'm gonna go
I
partying with the older kids, my older cousins, and I said, "Hey, mom, I'm over here to I'm over here to my cousin Nikki's house," and she was like, okay, all right. She was just like, all right. But the call ID said Denny's. Homegirl came and picked me up from Denny's. Like, so yeah, you know, my upbringing reflects how I parented you.
yeah. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Sometimes, like what that junior that going into my senior year summer, I was I won't even lie. Like, first of all, junior year started off great, ended horribly. But I did do a lot of not even just summer. Like I was I wouldn't say that I was bad, but I did like
You didn't
what
want to live. You were pushing the limits. You were pushing the
girl.
limits.
But I did, I was like
Then you slid into that senior
I
year and
was over here.
oh
Huh?
Lord,
You said I stood into my senior year and what?
all hell broke loose.
I mean, not necessarily. Senior year wasn't bad. Junior year was the worst year.
Okay. Maybe my timeline is not correct.
What are you talking about? No, because what? No. Junior year was worse.
Hmm.
Senior year was more like I'm doing what I want. Junior year was me just sneaking around, but senior year, I like I said, when I said I'm communicating with you, like I'm not arguing, I'm not doing nothing. Like I'm going over here after my game, I'm going over here. Like
Yeah. And
it
there
was
was a
just
lot of
like,
that. And
mm-hmm.
I did not, what should I say?
And you
Cause
was like,
I was just like, cool, whatever.
and that, listen, and if you like, and I'm gonna post this clip too because if you knew my mom, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, like even middle school, high school period, like it was really like, where are you going? What are you doing? Like I wasn't giving no like real lenience. Like it wasn't no. I wasn't like if you go to a game, number one rule ain't no up and down. Sit down in a spot. Like it was real strict, real strict. Like I was just like, girl, my friends want to walk. We want to walk
No, y'all
around.
need to sit down.
She said, y'all need to sit down. And what did I do? Sit down. So even today, like, and that really like, because I don't do a whole bunch of walking around. I don't like doing a whole bunch of, we are sitting down and watching this game.
Yes.
But I used to, I mean, I didn't really sneak around much middle school, but high school, not even early high school, late high school, it was definitely, because I'm like, why is she doing the most? Like, oh.
But you
But
understand now where I was coming from as a parent. It
yeah,
was very important for me that you not go down the same road that past generations have gone down. And not saying that we were all sneaky, not saying that we just got with some guy and he wasn't the person that I wanted to live my life with. I'm just
mhm,
saying that I just didn't want that for you or my other two kids because I know how hard it is to maintain a family in the long run. Maintain
I
a
didn't want that for myself.
No, it's hard work at the end of the day. Like, not only you know, you're growing up as a person, but you're trying to uh teach another person to grow up. And
Mm.
there will be a lot of trial and errors. Like I always say, we're more hard on y'all kids not to make the same mistakes that we did through experience, because we feel like, okay, if I catch it now, they won't make the same mistakes. Sometimes y'all will, and that's okay. Y'all are kids. Like, it's going to happen. Mistakes are going to happen, but the important part is growing from those mistakes, meaning learning from them. What lesson can you take from your past mistakes? And for me at
Mhm.
37, getting ready to be 37, there's a lot of mistakes that I made um, along the way, along the journey. And, I had to take accountability for my actions. For me, even getting pregnant with you, that was something that didn't have to happen. But obviously, somebody wanted it to happen and someone was willing to make it happen. So, it is what it is, but I don't regret having you at all, because like I said, it made me grow up real quick. It changed the dynamics of everything for me. I definitely had to go out here and get on my grind as a person, as a mom, and who I am today continues to be a reflection of that. Who is being an entrepreneur and a 9 to 5er and out here, making sure that things are happening. Like, that's a huge pat on my back.
Yeah.
With the assistance of my family, they play a huge part in that and who I am today. And my mom and papa in Smyrna made sure that, you know, they pushed me the proper way as well. And they are truly missing. But also, with that being said, it plays in a part of how I parent. You know, a lot of people were upset with me of the relationship that I had with them, that they didn't get to experience with them. And it took me up until probably a couple of years ago to understand that. Like, my dad didn't have the same relationship that I had with his mother. I don't know why that was, but it just was. So, you know, that allowed me to take some reflection on where he was as a person, the hurt that came from that. And when you haven't dealt with this, but sometimes I want to touch on this too. Sometimes we're angry with our parents because they didn't raise us, or they weren't around, or grandparents may have raised us. A lot of people don't even know mom didn't raise me up until like 8th grade. I didn't live with mom. I lived with my great grandmother. My great grandmother raised me until she got cancer and she was sick and she passed away. And then I transitioned with mom. And that was a huge adjustment. And you want to talk about transition into with mom, like I said with Ray Ray yesterday on our podcast, the grandmother, the Lord said y'all have now is not the same that we had then. She, like he said, it was Disney World on Saturday. We had fun. But when Sunday came, the drill sergeant came, meaning you were going to church.
The drill sergeant.
It's no comparison at all to what y'all
Concentration camp.
huh?
Concentration camp. I will never get over Uncle Joe saying that. Like,
But it's true.
mm-hmm.
Like, it's
I
very
never had that.
huh?
I don't even know how many times I went to church with Mom Mercy. It wasn't that many.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We had traumatic experiences from going to that particular church and being forced to go all day long. Some of that stuff was foolishness, but that was what she was in at that point. And yes, we have a relationship with God, most of us do, but in a sense, like, when you force relationships, something like that,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like, I think you can't, I feel like you have to allow somebody to like find God on their own. But I
Absolutely.
mean, and not alone, because I feel like Mom Dorsey definitely, she contributed to like us, like, because we would have to read a Bible verse before we ate dinner, like get the oil on our head before we go to school. Like she would pray with us every morning. So like I understood, like, okay, this should be something important. But at the same time, like when I was younger, I was like, this is not that serious. Like I'm not really like worried about that. But now that I within like the last, I don't know, because I've always like kind of like believed in God, but at the same time, like I'm really like knowing like, okay, he's going to come through when you need him. Like he
Absolutely.
will make sure that you are okay. Like, and that's definitely my whole thing now. Like, and like she said, you even if you feel like you're alone, like you can't even talk to your parents, like God is definitely there. He's gonna answer to you in different ways. And like
Absolutely.
it's so crazy because I will say, okay, this needs to happen, and it happens. Like
Faith.
that's how I know. And you have to, like, what I'm saying is though, you have to find him on your own. And I think that's kind of where like y'all's generation, or like the generation before y'all, is like kind of like even Uncle Maurice, he's like totally like, and I think that's where like that's what went wrong. Like they tried to force it onto him. So he was like, why am I sitting here in
Mhm.
church all the time?
But
Yeah.
Maurice didn't experience that. He didn't. He
Oh, he
didn't
didn't.
experience because he was on the realm of when she went to another church and they
Mm.
weren't so strict. Like when we went to church, it was back in the day where you couldn't wear earrings. You had to wear the long skirts and past your knees, and you had to wear the black slacks and just stuff like that. And because
Now I'm talking about some, she want a butterfly tattoo. Where
listen,
has the world come
the
to?
world has changed because Dolores back in the 90s did not do any of she would not even dance. You could not watch BET in her house. You couldn't play cards. It was extremely strict. Like BET was the devil. So we had to sneak to watch BET. Like, it's the truth. And you can walk in now and BET will be on. She up here dancing at the fitness
He
club
was
to Diddy.
born.
Like, what is going on? Who is this person, as we say? So it's been a huge change, but I agree that it's very important to know and have a relationship with God or whoever you believe in. Like you definitely have to have faith, because if you don't have faith, you will not do anything ever in life. You won't progress or do anything. So there is a religion part to it, and there is also an understanding of who you are and what you want out of life, and you mix the two well and it works out for you. So it is what it is. But yeah, she definitely played a major role in y'all's upbringing, but I think y'all needed that in a time where y'all kids, when you go to school, y'all deal with so much. So why would you not be covered under the blood of
Right.
Jesus? Because you definitely need that when you go into these schools and deal with these crazy teachers and administrators.
Crazy teachers, the kids. First of all, like I said, when I, especially high school, like everybody has their own opinions, like it's like different kind of stuff. I'm like, I know, I know who I believe in. I know my God. Everybody was like, oh, I don't know if God is real. I don't know this. I don't know. I said, I know. I know. I don't know about you, but I know. Like that wasn't me. And I think that's a whole nother thing with confusion and trying to figure yourself out and growing up and maturing. Like it's a lot of people that don't know who they are and don't know what they want to do. So it's just like, and there's so much stuff that goes on, like a
Absolutely.
whole bunch of people getting killed and all of that and everything. So it's like kind of like what it makes you like not want to believe in God and what he's doing. But everything everything definitely has a purpose and he has a plan and everything happens for a reason, but you have to be understanding and willing to see what God is trying to signal you, because a lot of things like God is really trying to signal you and be like, hey, you need to wake up. Like, if you don't get out of this situation, you see what happened to this person is going to happen to you.
Absolutely.
Like,
But Jay, back to that point of some of the kids are dealing with the being gay and coming out and
mhm,
coming from Christian families and
not feeling like, I think that's the whole thing too, because a lot of people feel like, and it's that's a whole like topic that I can talk about, because I'm the type of person, like, I I'm not that way. Like, I like men, point blank, period. But I have my close friends, some of my family members, like, they are that way. And it's just like, if you think about it, and like they say, you really have to figure out a way to interpret what the Bible says and what it actually means, because some stuff, like, you really think about it, like, some people could have rewritten that stuff to like say different things, but I don't think that, I think that it's not like, I don't know if it's a sin or if it's not, or if it's, but you should be comfortable in who you are. And even with coming from
absolutely.
Christian families, like, it says in the Bible, like, you should love people
Mm-hmm.
who, wherever they are, whoever they want to be at the end of the day. Like, so I've never, like, I don't have no problem with it. Like, I love all of my people,
Mm-hmm.
however you are, whatever you would like to be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's who you are. That's who you want to be with. That's cool. Like, it's no issue. But I think families definitely have to be more accepting, and families don't. And that's a whole nother thing, because families like to do a whole bunch of gossiping and all of that, and
Absolutely.
talking too
Mm-hmm.
much, saying
Keeping
everything,
stuff
like,
going.
and it be crazy, because you think that these people are so perfect and they are so godly, but at the same time you talking about this person being gay, but your your husband or your father is touching on little girls. Like,
Mm-hmm.
make it make sense. Please make it make sense, because y'all, but it's a whole lot of family secrets and different type of stuff that
Absolutely.
are not unveiled, but it's people that want to talk about other people. That just be my thing. If you're not totally like in sync with yourself, you're not perfect, if you ain't got it all, because nobody really got it all together. You can say that you got it all together, but you really don't got it all together. Don't talk about nobody else, because
Yeah.
you can't, you really don't have no right to talk about nobody else when you ain't got it all together.
Mm-hmm.
That should be my thing. I don't, sometimes, I mean, sometimes I do look like a little gossip, like a little tea, but I'm not the type of person like, and even within the last year, I'm like, I just get tired of talking about people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just be like, even when people be talking about people, I be like, are you done? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's go on to the next topic. I'm really like, and that's the whole, adding on to the topic about people moving on. Like, if you're the new girlfriend, I'm the ex-girlfriend. Like, I'm not finna talk about you. You should have no reason to talk about me. You can't be
Or
me. I
feel
can't
some type
be
of
you.
way.
It should be no conversation, no drama, no nothing. If you like him, if you love him, then love him. Like, I loved him. It'll be that way. But I don't have nothing to talk about you for. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And as a Black woman, like, I love to see other Black women win. So at the
Yeah.
same time, I'm just like, I'm not even gonna talk about you no way, because you should be happy. You are a Black woman. You should be happy, regardless.
You know, with that being said, that's a whole different topic of Black women and competing with one another.
Mhm.
Um,
Is
look,
that
we got a
serious?
yeah, we got a visitor. But yeah, it's extremely important not to get into the midst of
Compete,
comparison between
competing for comparison.
yeah, like
For
because if
comparison.
I'm doing me and if
And you,
I'm focused on me looking forward, I can't be looking at what you're doing. And I think, and that's not just with Black women. I think that's with everybody. It's so much of comparison
everybody,
in
period.
the world. Like I always say, when y'all started having y'all's groups of friends, and it was so much competing going on amongst the not only the kids but the parents, meaning that oh, I let me go out and buy this car. Or let me go out and buy this house. Oh, let me make it seem like that I'm living this perfect life, and it'd be pure hell in the daggone house, and nobody wants to acknowledge it. Like,
Yeah.
so over here, I know it was a time frame where it was, oh, y'all live in that small house, Jayla, and we're better than you. Are you sure?
And
Are you
really,
really
like, it
sure?
was people be I don't, but you shouldn't really, and that's like you said, a whole nother thing too. You shouldn't place like where you are in life on your monetary things, because
Absolutely.
monetary money, like, you can always get money
Mhm.
and it can always be taken away from you. But who are you?
As a
Because at the
person.
end of the day, exactly, who are you? Who are you inside? Like, do people really like you? Who like
Don't
like
don't get started. Don't get started. This thing is gonna
But
last.
that just be my thing. People try and place like life off of monetary things, like, and just like I say, as much as God is given to you, He can always take it away like real quick.
Mhm.
So you can't be bragging and can't be like doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like, just be grateful and be able to give and just be a good person,
That's true.
because I don't like dealing with like really like mean people or angry people, because just like, why are you like that? Like,
Because they were conditioned to be like that. If you're taught, if your family is like that, meaning that they sit around and talk about people like, oh, they live in that house over there, oh, they drive that car, oh, whatever. It's just like it was so much competition
and
with
one thing about it, I'm still to
all
this day, I'm always taken care of. Always, like, my hair is always done. Ain't never had to worry about that. Always get a new sneaker. If I really want to get my nails done, I can go get my nails done. I have glasses, go to the dentist, go to the doctor. Like, I had it good.
Mhm.
So wherever I live or whatever I do, I'm taken care of.
Absolutely. But again, it's the way of thinking, like, and I noticed it. I talked to someone a couple months ago, and it totally threw me off because it was just like the person was trying to persuade me that they were happy and doing well because they had just bought a new car. And I'm just like, okay, you bought a new car. Okay. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, you want me to do a cartwheel in front of you because you went out and bought a car. But like, I just don't get why people associate monetary value with progressing in life, and
Mhm.
being because you can have it all and be a horrible person with
Mhm. Or
uh
even be
crazy
alone,
tactics.
just sad and depressed.
Yes.
Like,
And I think that's where it comes from too, because they're so focused on creating this image as if they have it and they really don't have it. Like, I would rather live in a small house and live a comfortable life and a peaceful life instead of creating the image that I am rich and that I have everything. Like, I love my little Chevy Equinox. Love it. Don't have no what should I say, drive to go out and get a Mercedes. Now, can I go out and get that Mercedes? Absolutely. Yeah, I can. Now, do I want that car payment? No. Do I want to take it and get a tune up for $1,200 or $1,500? No, I do not. It's not smart for me at my age. I can do it possibly when I'm 50 or 60. Yes, that can be a retirement goal. But again, why are we competing with one another to make it feel like that, okay, I have all of this, I live this certain life, and you're not in a peaceful life. You can tell the things that people say, post, whatever, like it's crazy out here, the stuff that I see. It's to the point where I throw my phone down. When I see BS on my timeline, I just be like, let me throw this phone down. Because today I'm not feeling it today. I'm not for that. So I've learned to, I told Ray Ray as well, I've learned to edit my timeline. If I have to unfollow people because they're posting BS every day, I'm not following you for real. If you're bringing nonsense on my timeline every day, if I had to sit up and see your face every day when I get up in the morning because you're so what should I say? you're so into yourself.
It's
I like
about
that you love yourself, but do I want to wake up and see your face in the morning? Unfollow you. You're not. You won't be on this page. Not this morning, or not tomorrow morning. No, you will not. So you have to limit your intake, social media intake too. And I tell you that as well. Like, you know, when you see couples and they seem like they're happy, they're always posting and stuff like that. Couples they don't need to persuade the world that they're in love every day. That's a problem. Like, if they know they're in love, they don't need to tell everybody else. You're just gonna know and wake up. You don't have to tell everybody else, because now you're bringing those people into your relationship and their opinion into your relationship, and their goal will be to break you up at the end of the day, because they don't want to see you happy. So when I get into a relationship that's stable and progressing, I know now you probably won't see it until we're on our honeymoon. You may not see a picture. If I buy a new car, you won't see it on social media. When I buy a new house, you'll probably see keys, but you won't see the house from me. No, you will not, because people get into a situation where they want to break your happiness. And you allow people to do that when you post it on social media. We've gotten away from our topics of the
I was just sitting here thinking that too.
but it's okay, because we had to piece by piece starting the conversation, and I think we've done a good job with talking about it. But yeah, next I guess we'll talk about the betrayal of the child and parents, meaning that should I be feeling betrayal from you or the other two if you want to form a relationship with your father? No, I do not.
I've never understood that. And me and Monty was just having that conversation too, because I don't I I feel like, and like I said, if the parents have a situation, it should just be with the parents. And I mean, like, but you have to understand. See, I don't know, because at the same time, y'all have y'all issues, but I just feel like when you see it, it's just like, okay, this person is this kind of way. That's how I feel about you. But if the parent situation should be their situation. If that, like, this girl's mom, her mom feels as if that she is betraying her by talking to her father, trying to build a relationship with her father. And I don't understand that, because if anything, like, every kid wants to have a relationship with both parents. So I mean, you shouldn't want to like limit that, or try and like have your like take that opportunity away from your kids. And if the dad is willing and trying to have a relationship with your kids, like, that ain't got nothing to do with you. Like, that's on your kids.
I get where the mom is coming from, meaning that I understand her limitations that she's placing on her children, because she feels like if he gets the upper hand, then they may not love her the same. I get all of that.
I understand that either.
Huh?
I don't understand that.
I mean, it's not right. No, it's a
No,
form of selfishness.
You like, if you already have a relationship established with your children already, so them having a relationship with their dad shouldn't like take away from that.
It should not, but it's a form of selfishness. And not only that, sometimes I know people around me have been to the point where they don't want to see that other half, because back in the day, usually for different people, like if you broke up with someone, I don't want to see you for the rest of my life. And that's what I mean. Like, that's the narrative that was presented years ago. So of course, when it trickles down to our generation of parents, then we want to mimic that. Because I said that too. Like, don't call my phone with that BS no more. I just said it like not long ago. Like, if you're not calling about this, and this, don't call me for nothing else. Because at the end of the day, like, if we're not on a healthy co-parent level,
it should be that if it's not about the kids, y'all should not be talking about nothing else.
But I think when you'll understand it if you, hopefully, I pray to God you don't go through what I have been through. But when you go through it, then you'll understand where her thinking is, meaning that she feels like she may have had a traumatic experience where she wasn't loved enough. She didn't feel loved enough. So that's why she has this betrayal stereotype, or what do they call it when you think of these theories, these crazy theories. So that's where she may be as a person, as a mom. But if you have loved your kids the right way, they're always going to reciprocate it in the right manner. Like I said, I have always promoted that you have a relationship, or all of y'all, with your dad. I have never said, if you go over there, I'm gonna act a fool, or you can't come back over here. I've never said that. Go on over there with him. Like, I think you can agree, in the last, like, what, year, if you need something, call your dad.
Go to 106 and Park. That's what she said. That's what she was. Go over there to 106 and Park.
106 and Park. You better call them up.
But I mean, and that's a whole nother thing too, because I mean, with our situation, like, it's so weird. Like, I don't like, and I just told him when I called him on the phone the other week, and I was just like, that's a whole nother thing, because I'm just totally irritated. But anyway, I call him and I'm like, hey, I'm running low, like, broke college student, I need some money. What am I gonna do with 200? Let me know. But I said, I was like, I'm running low, like, and I was just like, I don't like asking people for stuff. Like, if it's not my mom or my mom, or like somebody that I'm comfortable with asking, like, I will not ask unless, like, I'm like on my last dollar. Like, I don't like asking nobody for nothing. So I told him, like, I told him that. He was like, I'm not nobody, I'm your dad. But it's just like, not that you're nobody, but like, it's just like, we don't have that kind of relationship. But it's on him, because he didn't create that kind of relationship with his kids.
But hold on, let me stop you there, because this is where I am with relationship building. Did he know how to build relationships based on the relationships that he had with his parents?
Yeah,
as it plays a huge part in who he is.
Trickle down. It's basically trickling down. Like, and I mean, and I definitely believe that the grandparents, I feel like all grandparents try and make up with their grandkids for what they miss with their kids. So like, my mom Gloria and when my pop Charles, like, when he was around, like, they definitely like took care. Even my mom Gloria, like, I still have that kind of relationship with her. Like that's my mom. Like, when I came down there to go to school, like, she would take care of me, make me breakfast in the morning, like, all of that. But with him, like, he created a situation, like, it was just like, even with Co-op Josie and Nuki, like, they had that kind of relationship.
And I wasn't going to interfere with that either, meaning that was his time to repair something that he missed out in his children's childhood. And I didn't want to interfere with taking that away from him if he had an opportunity to experience that again. And he was just over here earlier.
Nuki and my great grandparents, like, y'all don't even understand. Like, I mean, me and Jasmine, we had it good, but Nuki, he has it, and I'm not even gonna say has, because I'm not gonna say had, because he still has it. He's got it good. Nuki, first of all, me and Jasmine, when we went down there to Star Hill, we had to walk to the school. It's not that far, it's right down the street. But Mom and Pop, they gonna start up the car and take Nuki down to Star Hill. Like, why didn't we get that? Like, I'm not understanding. We had to walk every day.
You talking about a couple 100 feet from the school, and why
Why
you?
are you driving him? And like Nuki, Papa take Nuki to get a haircut. Like
Mhm. But that's
we,
something that he didn't experience with his own children.
mm-hmm,
And like I said, I did not want to interfere with that. If, even with his parents, his mother raised me.
mm-hmm,
So, I never was angry with mom at all for not raising me from X amount of months to 13, 14. I never was angry with mom from her parents, and because she
but she raised her too, though.
she raised her too. So mom felt as though that, that's what my mom wanted at the particular time, because her precious Inia was a golden child, and that's what it was. But would you get that same story from other grandchildren or experience? I always look at my mom and papa up in Smyrna. Like, I'm sure that my other cousins can't relate to anything that I say, because they never experienced that with my mom and papa. And I'm not
Mhm.
going to apologize for it either, like I said earlier. But, we have to think about how people were raised before we get angry with people about not being there particular times to raise us, because like they can have their version of their story. Of course, most of the older people that did raise us are not here to explain their story.
Mhm.
So you have to bridge the gap between the two. You have to have the open line of communication. Listen, you made me feel like this when you didn't raise me. So, and you make me feel like this now that we are communicating, and you're not receptive to what I'm saying or how I'm feeling. So I think it takes a lot of therapy. I think it takes a lot of being receptive to what
I
your
think
children are saying to
definitely.
you.
First of all, families in general need to go to therapy.
Absolutely. I think we're skipping that part as Black people. It's
Our
very important.
definitely our because our family, they think everybody be thinking we got it all together. We've got some holes too. So it's just like I think, and
Yeah.
it's never too late to go. I think everybody should be able to go, and everybody does not know it all.
Mhm.
So everybody should be open to just listening and
Yes.
say, like you say, this is how I feel. This is how you made me feel
Mhm.
at this time.
Yeah. It's extremely important. Like, we have so many family dynamics. And I was talking to Ray Ray again yesterday on the podcast, and I was saying, how when we're in large families and we deal with different traumatic experiences with just the siblings, I said maybe, all the siblings can create a book talking about how they overcame their journey, their life journey. Because I believe if you never tell your kids about your life, how you started out and how you got to where you are, then they're missing out. Like, they never know the makeup of you unless you tell them. And that's where I think my mom is at with every weird moment. I consider it weird because it's unexpected. Like, I may go over to her house and she says, "Oh, well, let me tell you about this. It's just out the blue." Like, okay, what you want me to do with that? Like, but again, maybe she feels like she needs to get that out of her system. And there have been similar stories that she had that I had. It skipped mom. Like, some experiences skip generations. So, it just so happened that she got back with her high school sweetheart. And now they are living the life that they're living after X amount of years. But there was a period of time when she was married to somebody else, and that's just what it
Yeah,
was.
just that's their whole story is just crazy to me because you're just like, what? What?
It's things like that that it needs to be discussed. And I think everybody, no different than my mom Mary, when she was getting ready to transition and she wanted to write down her things. And that's why I was so um on a journey to find her story, because obviously she thought that her parents had gotten killed and they were living the whole time in Miami, Florida.
Mhm,
Like, how does that make a person feel when they think that they know their story and they really don't? So,
mhm.
it is very important. But I also needed my dad, and I'm gonna sit down and talk to him too at some point here soon. Like, you have to know my mom could only do but so much as a person. And yes, she was on a career journey. Yes, she had to not be home at different times, and she wanted to have career development. You know,
Mhm.
she started as whatever, secretary or whatever of the school district. She ended up blossoming so much she
And then
bowed out as a superintendent of the school district. It's things of that nature, and we're talking about
first,
a time
the
period,
first to do it.
the first to do it. We're talking about a time period where blacks were not blossoming. Fortunately, she had people around her that motivated her, that listened to her voice and
Mhm.
said, you know what, she can come into a room. And she always said that, where she would listen in a room, she would not always be the first to speak. You know, some people listen to respond, and they think that they are in this fight of that it's a civil war and I have to keep speaking. Yes, sometimes you do in the workplace, but also you have to respond the correct way for them to understand where you're coming from. And I think, she created a lot of gems for us as who we are, me and you, Jazz. She always said Jazz was not the person that you would have to worry about. She's gonna defend herself. And we all know she's a no limit soldier. She is the one. But you, on the other hand, she always felt uh a different love for you for whatever reason. She always felt that way for me as well. I can't speak for anyone else, but that was me. And I don't know why I received that. I received that for a reason from her, that different love language from her. But she came from a family that was emotionally detached, meaning
Mhm.
that they did not hug, they did not kiss, none of that. So, like, she didn't know how to do that with her own children. And I think that they should understand that
Mhm.
um, to a certain point. And you can't be angry with someone that has gone on. Like,
Yeah.
they can't speak for themselves anymore. So, you definitely have to do your own work, and you need to get on somebody's couch, because church is not going to do it. It's not. You can't pray it off. You have to do the work. So it's very important. Very important. So yeah, um, I think we have talked about a lot of topics, JJ. We've been on here for a good minute, so I'm gonna close it
Very
out.
good.
We will do
Okay.
another piece by piece of developing positive relationships with parents soon. Look at you. Probably getting ready to be out in the street in like 2 hours.
Oh boy.
But yeah, we definitely have had fun the last week. Thank you for spending the weekend with me last weekend, because I needed that. I had fun, and it is what it is. I thank y'all for watching. Hopefully, y'all
Yeah.
have seen our stories within the last week, meaning on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. Kirk Franklin, if you do not get to see him very soon, put him on your concert list, because you will get your whole life um through his concert show. And yeah, no matter who you are, it's always love out here for you somewhere. So we're
Yeah.
signing off. We will see y'all next time. All right.